The nation's federal court system produces thousands of pages of documents every single week. These indictments, detention memos, and criminal complaints can reveal plenty of important information. The only problem? Almost no one reads them. This morning, Brook Silva-Braga introduces us to a man who does and who's made some remarkable discoveries. Brook, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Well, let's start with one very topical example. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. He was arrested on Thursday by the British as the U.S. unsealed its own charges against him. But we've actually known he was indicted since November, all because of one obsessive document digger at George Washington University.
My initial thought was, it's weird.
Seamus Hughes was doing what he does, reading a federal court document, when he noticed something strange, a reference to Julian Assange being secretly charged with a crime. But Hughes didn't think much of it when he tweeted out an image of the document.
And so when I sent it out, my wife and I went to bed, and then I woke up and it was the front page of the Washington Post that day and everywhere else.
A stunning revelation tonight.
Federal prosecutors have apparently filed criminal charges against WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. It was supposed to be a secret.
The U.S. Attorney's Office confirmed to us the court filing was, quote, made in error.
And then let's just do search warrants, right?
The Assange document didn't strike Hughes as a big deal because he's almost constantly finding things in court filings that few others bother to read.
Just last night, Judge Weinstein in New York had agreed to unseal one of the documents.
It's because of these searches that we know the FBI raided campaign offices linked to Congressman Duncan Hunter, and that a man from New Jersey secretly became an ISIS commander in Syria. And then in February,
I was looking through court records in Maryland, and I was cleaning off snow off my car. The kids are playing in the front yard, and I just took a break, and because I don't have hobbies, that was my break. And the first line of the detention memo says, Christopher Hassan's a domestic terrorist. And so did a series of tweets on that. And then an hour later, I realized that I had 10,000 retweets.
and I think led the news. Your tweet.
It did, yeah.
The U.S. Coast Guard officer and self-proclaimed white nationalist is charged tonight with plotting a massive domestic terror attack.
Hughes finds these scoops through a buggy government website charging 10 cents a search.
The federal court records system is called PACER, and it's god-awful. You can't use it unless you know how to use it, right?
You happen to know how to use this thing that no one else
It's
really has figured out.
It is absolutely a quirky system. If you search a certain way, you're going to get 0 results. You search a different way, you'll get 10,000 results. Change the date back 1 day, because sometimes things get unsealed in 180 days, so you want to search 181 days.
Most of what Hughes finds, even the Julian Assange thing, doesn't much matter to him. This is what you're ultimately interested in.
Yeah, this is what I care about.
Hughes studies extremism, and court filings are his best research material. He says he reads about 1,000 pages a day.
You have to go through all of the haystack to get the needle, because you're dealing with a lot of stuff that is traditionally not talked about or possibly classified, and you've got to break through that.
He's supported by a staff of 8 at George Washington Center for Extremism.
She was talking to Sudani's wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she's.
Wait, why are
we just found it.
What the program doesn't have is a big platform, so Hughes will sometimes share what he's found with journalists like Adam Goldman of the New York Times.
When Seamus contacts you, it's usually a good thing. He's probably got something.
Most times, though, he'll just fire off a tweet. On the day we visited, he'd learned about an American woman's ongoing support of ISIS. Hughes tweeted the news to his 28,000 followers and hoped someone would notice.
One of the things about Seamus that I find frustrating is sometimes he'll take these sexy documents and he'll just tweet them out.
Yes, how do you feel about that?
Well, I don't think it's a good idea. I think he should give them to reporters so we can report them out and then write stories about them and put them on the front page of the New York Times, while giving credit to Seamus, of course.
Sometimes the tweet ends up on the front page anyway. When Hughes revealed members of the LA City Council were under investigation for a kickback scheme, the LA Times rushed a story onto the next morning's cover, all because Seamus had been bored the night before.
LA City Council, it was purely because the LA Rams were playing the playoffs. Now that sounds silly, but I was watching the Rams. It was kind of boring, and so I just figured what's going on in LA in general. I looked at the search warrants on PACER.
You realize you're...
No, it's
come
insane. Let's be honest here. Like, it makes no sense. But people have hobbies. I got PACER. I'm okay with that in life.
Hughes may be Pacer's foremost expert. He's also probably its biggest critic, complaining that even though he's personally benefited from how hard it is to search, the rest of the public is not getting true access to its federal courts. He wants Pacer fees eliminated and the website to finally truly work.
Well, thank goodness he's there, though.
Yeah, I
Doing
know.
all the reading for us.
He's scooping it up, and he's starting to train journalists regularly in how to search the way he does.
Sounds like you got some great tips. This, though, did you sign him up with Lynn Tepper in our investigative unit?
Yeah.
We should connect them because actually he's started a group to try to train journalists, and he's been going to the major media organizations. I don't think he's done CBS yet.
Some of that information gathering lost in the way we've changed collecting our information, you know?
All righty. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.